Let me say a special good morning to our listeners this morning. Those of you via Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9. Good morning. How you doing? Hope all is well. Our viewers this morning via GBN TV, whether you're viewing Channel 7, Channel 11, or Channels 20. Good morning to you. Our social media platforms. Yeah, good morning. Those of you via, of course, GBN's webpage. Let me kind of give that a little first notice this morning. Yes, GBN's webpage, gbn.gd. Good morning to you, those of you who are there viewing and listening. How are you doing? Hope all is well. Also, those of you via social media platforms like the Facebook page, the YouTube channels. Hey, let me say good morning and welcome. It's another edition of To The Point, and today being Friday, it's the 29th day of September 2023. Yeah, almost wrapping up the month already, right? September, I consider it sometimes to be the best month of the year for me. Anyway, folks, it's another open line edition of To The Point for today. Feel free to give me that call, 435-2041, 435-2041. That's a number to get in contact with me this morning. If you do have something that you want to speak about this morning, whatever is the issue, whatever is the matter, you want to let it out this morning, feel free to do so. I beg of you, when you're calling, make sure your devices in the background are turned off, your television, your radio, make sure they are completely turned off when you decide to make that call, so we don't get that feedback, all right? Also, try to keep your comments as short as possible. I know sometimes you have stuff to say, and but for the reason of getting more folks getting in terms of the calls in at the time, because there are a lot of folks sometimes I have them on hold. So please keep your comments as short as possible. Let's entertain our very first caller this morning as we go to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, GT, and I'm always
seem to be getting
on the radio.
Always seem to be getting the ball rolling in the morning. How you doing this morning?
Yeah, I'm good. I wanted to be the first person because there's a few things I want to take on that came from the first program. Mm-hmm. One of the callers says, all we can, or one of the people who responded to, in a sense, on the program said, all we can do is vote and leave the rest for their folks. I want to beg to disagree with that.
I'm trying to get a gist of where you're coming from. All we can
do. They were talking about the issue that coming out of the tone speech, mm-hmm. and it seems as though there's a great deal. Not it seems as though there's a great deal of political and governance illiteracy among our people, mm-hmm. Because they are getting caught up with the fact that the Governor General, in delivering the tone speech, which is an annual thing, have made certain pronouncements. And there seem to be, a lot of people seem to be taken off guard that whatever the sitting government decides, this is what the Governor General is going to present.
Yes.
It is evident that over the years, some of the people who seem to be waking up now was asleep. So, one of them said, we have to make government and so on more accountable, and that's, of course, this has been my whole life, trying to hold people accountable, especially when it comes to human rights, to the environment, to cultural preservation and all of that. But people go to work. In fact, I've been asking people with connection with Canada, have your relative called you and said anything about what is happening in Canada? And the overwhelming response is no. These people should be concerned on what has happened in Canada recently, because it shows that there could be in grave danger. You have Nazism rising its head even in the Canadian Parliament, mm-hmm. and they don't seem to be concerned. So, coming back to here, so it seems as though we have a lot of work to do in people understanding the various roles of the various individuals and offices in this country. And it's unfortunate that over the years, that a certain political party which was imposed on us post-invasion have really destroyed this country in every sense of the way. And people keep saying that, there's a famous statement that an individual makes that when he leaves office, no one will be able to govern here. And it seems as though, because we are very confused as a people, and without understanding that there are roles and responsibility. Parliament has this responsibility, the Governor General has the responsibility, the police commissioner. But when you control all of that have happened in the previous government, where they control everything, Governor General, the police commissioner, I mean, every single office they control. And as a former worker of the public workers, public servant said this morning, permanent secretary was not allowed to do the work, and they were moved here and there. So we have a really serious situation. We have to correct that mess, so that people maybe blame certain people, in the system. And I know I can't say too long. And then without understanding that these people, either they've not been trained or they've been misplaced. Because the service has not been allowed to function. And we have to be honest. We can't say that all politicians is the same. This kind of situation, all of them, me and my brother is not the same. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution as always. 435-2041, 435. It's an open line to the point today, which means your viewers and listeners have the option of calling in, share your views, your concerns, and an opinion of yours. Also, you have the option of doing so. Let's go to the phone line and entertain another caller. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Telesford, sir. Greetings. One of the major issues up for discussion these days emanates from the quote-unquote throne speech of a couple days ago. Certain statements made by the Governor General and so forth. I want to inform Grenadians of the following. For 50 years, we've been duped, lied to, manipulated by statements from a certain elite in this here country that the office of the Governor General is ceremonial. There are certain people who continue to believe that, despite references drawn to the so-called Constitution of Grenada, which is nothing but an imperial order in council of the Queen's most excellent, now the King's most excellent majesty. Today I want briefly to refer to chapter 4 of that document, and I urge people to read. Young men and women, read, so that they will not be able to continue to dupe you over the coming years, and that you may be able to make your decisions, informed decision based on what you read. In other words, we cannot continue for them to make us believe that what we see and read there, and in my case where the machine reads for me what is written on the screen, that is not what you see there. Yes, you see it, but that's not what you see there. The Executive Authority of Grenada, Chapter 4. Read it, brothers and sisters. Section 57 of this said document says the Executive Authority of Grenada resides in His Majesty the King. And this authority may be exercised by the Governor General, those who he or she designated. Is written there. Section 63 says crystal clear that the Prime Minister shall inform the Governor General, fully inform, pardon, I can't leave out this adverb, fully inform the Prime Minister, the Governor General, of the general, concerning the general conduct of the governance of the country of Grenada. They're all involved. They are the ones that call the shot. That's where the power is. The Governor General is not, the office of the Governor General is not ceremonial. The power is there. Therefore, if it is written in the Constitution and it is not upheld, then they are the ones who are violating their own documents. And we have to see it that way. They've been lying to us. No, the Governor General knows what happens in the country. He or she has to know because he or she, according to Section 63, has to be fully informed about the general conduct of the governance. And as a matter of fact, that same article goes on to say that the Prime Minister shall furnish information that is so requested by the Governor General. So if there's an issue in the air, which people like me talk about, and the Governor General is not sure, she has a duty to call upon the Prime Minister to inform her. The question is this: is the matter related to the oil and gas, or pardon, not is, I retract, does the matter related to oil and gas end in Grenada with the demise of the Keith Mitchell-led administration? And did it start again when the new administration took over, led by Declan Mitchell? No, it is a matter in the air. So the files, the reports, the information all relate because it is a matter of national interest. The Governor General has to listen to my voice because I'm meticulous there, has to obligatorily, has to have the information. So when you come and you read these things to me, you're trying to confuse me. Brothers and sisters, don't allow yourself to be bamboozled by these people. Talk about it. This country is in a mess. Total mess, and they have brought it to that based on what their interpretation of the so-called constitution is. That is why, if we want to advance into the future, we have to reconstitute this here country by a new constitution written by the people through a constituent assembly and not by lawyers. This matter has to, and now we're going to celebrate 50 years of this bluff and this farce. We have to identify to them that we know now. For what it's worth, I say this. Thank you very much, Mr. Telesford. Do have a nice day, will you?
Have a great day yourself. Caller 435-2041, 435-2041. And let's take a couple of those messages. Let's go to the WhatsApp. And this individual via WhatsApp is saying, GT, the caller was misled or misread the situation in Canada. He has to go back and take time to read what went on. So I guess he's speaking about the previous caller who called and mentioned about what's going on in Canada, and if individuals in Canada call to tell us about it. So I guess he's saying probably you misread, or you need to go back and reacquaint yourself. Good morning to you, caller. Welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, I totally agree with Mr. Rolo, and the time is now. Don't leave it any longer. But the Governor General have to oversee the conduct of the government. I have to laugh, yes, because if the Governor General have to oversee the conduct of the government and she's appointed by the same government, what is she seeing? We are declared foolishness in Grenada. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you also for your contribution. 435-2041, 435-2041. And let's take some other comments this morning. Let's go back to the WhatsApp. And this individual is saying, good morning. Is Livera part of Grenada? My reason for the question is because Livera people don't have access to the beach. It's welcome to Livera Beach, but the road is closed. Well, that's something to be a little bit concerned about. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning to you. Go right ahead with your contribution, please.
Yeah. What Mr. Rolo said is, in a general sense, is correct. Well, theoretically, but specifically referring to the throne speech. The throne speech is basically an aspirational statement by the government. It's not even a plan. It's not a budget. I have contributed to the throne in my time in the public service, because what they actually do, they ask all the different departments to put forward what they would like, what they think they would like to accomplish during the coming year. And in many cases, people use the throne speech, some departments, to pressure the government to do things they would like to see done, by putting them in there. Mm-hmm. Of course, at the end of the day, someone has to pull this thing together. They have to look at it in terms of the planning and department and the finance and so to see what is, if something is way out there and doesn't make sense. But it's basically an aspirational statement put together by the government, departments. Somebody tightens it up, and the Governor General is given it to read. She doesn't have to exercise any judgment, or she doesn't have any editorial privilege over it, as far as I know. She reads it. Now, on the matter of the of that oil and gas. As I said yesterday, we are being hoodwinked. The opposition leader is very smart, try to hoodwink folks into believing that when the Prime Minister spoke, he spoke about oil and gas, period, as long as it existed. But that's not true. In 2018, the then Prime Minister on a political platform spoke of, I think, 8 or 7 wells that were found. One was developed to the point where they were able to find out exactly what was in it, and the others, they said, were even more promising. But interestingly, from 2018 to 2022, we've had 5 budgets and annual plans. Are you aware of any of those budgets in any year, including anything of what will happen to the oil? Any resources were left for exploration? Anything was said about them? Nothing was ever said about them for the next 5 years. So it only existed. It was a phantom that existed on that night of the election campaign. So when people speaking about blatant lies, that is where it is. You promise something, 5 years after, you never mention it. It was never part of the plan of the government because it never existed before. And this is what we have to look at. And some people have been carried away and said, oh, how could they say they don't know about it? How could the Governor General not know about it? We know about oil. We know about Tillman Thomas meeting in Trinidad and drawing the lines and all these other things. But we're talking specifically, the context of what the Prime Minister said has to fit into that statement that was made in 2018 and of which no records are there to substantiate it. There was no budget in any year following that made any provisions for following up on this thing. This is what we have to look at, and let's not get pulled aside into, nonsense, total nonsense, and mama guy, as some people would say.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. We drew for a break. Let's take it. We're coming back with more of your calls and other contributions via social media, comment sections, and so forth. We're coming right back. Stay with us.
National Lotteries Authority is a proud sponsor of many cultural activities within the Tri-Island state of Grenada.
My name is Anderson Matheson, also known as Leftist, and I'm a calypsonian and string band music player from Carriacou. I support the games of the National Lottery Authority because culture benefits tremendously. Annually, the NLA supports the Carriacou and Pitamatic Carnival, the Carriacou String Band Music Festival, and all regattas, among other activities. When I play the game of the NLA, I can see where my money goes, and it's an investment into our culture.
Yes, Grenada, when you play the games of the NLA, you enable us to invest in the skills and talents of our people in the areas of sports, culture, and nation building.
Introducing the NIS Dream Loan, where possibilities are boundless and your aspirations are our priority. No matter where life takes you, NIS Dream Loans are here to make your dreams a reality. From purchasing your first plot of land or dream property to renovating spaces, building your home, and seamlessly switching mortgages, we cater to every step of your journey. And here's what sets us apart. We offer easy financing options with competitive interest rates, quick approval processes, and flexible repayment terms. So why wait? Apply now and let our dedicated NIS team guide you through this exciting journey. Visit nisgrenada.org/dream loan or call 440-3309 to book an appointment. Terms and conditions apply. Your dream awaits.
welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio and GBN TV. Good morning also, those of you via our social media platforms. How are you doing this morning? Hope you're doing well. It's an open line edition this morning here on To The Point, which means you viewers, listeners out there have the option of calling in, share your views and concerns, and you have an opinion also. You can certainly present it this morning. Let's go to the phone line. I guess we have lost that caller. 435-2041. That's a number if you want to get on the program this morning and express your views. Let's go to the phone line once again. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, GD, and how are you today, sir?
Doing pretty good, sir. Go right ahead.
I'm all right for now. Yeah, I just want to make a little thing because we had a discussion last week concerning public works, and I mentioned about the overhauling of engines. But it seems that some things, not all of us know everything, but you don't have certain ideas about these things. When I said an engine will cost $20,000 to overhaul. Right. So I'm not talking about these car engines. You see these machines that hauling on these trailer trucks?
Yes.
They have 250 and 350 engines in them. These are the engines that will cost that kind of money.
Okay.
For instance, if you're changing the crankshaft, the sleeve, the bearings, the valves, the seal, the oil pump, and these things, that will cost that. And then for another thing I want to show is like there's tires in Grenada that cost $10,000 and $15,000, right?
Yes.
And these are the tires like the 920 loader and all these big tires. They're very expensive. So if you get into the people within this time of industrial work, you will understand those, right? Then secondly, there's something lot I saw there. Some people here teaching our people to do platina bamboo. But what I think is the generation, when the generation changed and we didn't get certain things, we don't know that. But if you go, I know to New Hampshire, Willis, for years, these people are plaiting bamboo, making basket, making vase, making fruit basket, making clothes basket. For instance, there's a guy writing, that'll be circling around Wall Street there with all these things. He making stuff even like, you can put your onions, your garlic, what they call fruit, vegetable basket, all kinds of stuff. So I don't know where is generation, because we see somebody come with something and we never pick it up from the elders. Our culture, everything is going on. You remember like in Sobeys and Marquis, the nice straw hat, all the basket, the bags these people used to make with the straw.
Yes,
so even like now, these hats work very well for the sun. I have a straw hat, and that is what I use now, helping a lot of the sun.
So caller, what are you trying to get at? You're trying to say we need a re-emergence of this particular industry? Is that what you're trying to get at?
Well, it seems, not me, but it seems that the government or somebody is trying to get somebody to promote that. But what I'm saying, our people have that in them already, so these are the people you should go to and bring them back to teach the younger ones. But you're bringing some foreigners to do that, and what I look at what they're doing is not, they're making things that are their product, where they come from their country, designs of their country.
All right.
Thank you.
Get your point. Have a good day. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number if you want to get on To The Point this morning. We have an open line this morning. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
I want to respond to this guy who just made a statement about the crafts that we had. I recall about 20 years ago, I was a teacher then. A young man was sent to Taiwan to study the same problem, the same thing about how we can use our bamboo and other crafts. Nothing happened to it.
Yep.
The guy came back from Taiwan and nothing was done. So I don't know where we're going. However, I see that we're going to start this classes with oil, at least this would start again at the center, how we can use our bamboo to utilize in making baskets and whatever we have to make. But this has been going on this has been done for the longest worthwhile, and that is what is happening. We send our people overseas to learn the craft, and they come back and they do nothing. I don't understand. No, we have to bring.
So, Kola, let me ask you that: is it necessary? So, you said there's no one in Grenada that possesses talent, because this is a thing we've seen for years. Why do we need to send someone to go to Taiwan to learn to do something that's been going on in Grenada for years?
You see, this was offered to the government at the time, and they took advantage of it. And it's always the case. When a government comes in power, they always send the people outside for experience. I don't know why. But anyway, we have this craft here. We've been using bamboo to make baskets since the slave days, and from then on up to now. And there are people in Grenada who knows how to deal with this bamboo and how to make the baskets and handbags and whatever it is. So I don't see the need. We just have to get to these people. However, some of them are dead anyway, and the craft was not passed on to the younger people, and the younger people were not interested. And that's the next thing, because they figure they could buy a handbag or a basket in the store, and it's cheap, so they just forget it.
Understandably so. Thank you, Kola. Thank you for your contribution.
Our craft.
Have a good morning. Thank you. Thank you. 435-2041. 435-2041. Let's take a couple of the contributions via the Facebook page before we entertain another caller. We've seen someone via the Facebook is saying, I remember my grandmother used to make hats and bags from straw and sell to tourists. Also, there's people who can, someone else is saying that there are people who can do, but it's teaching is different. So true. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. GT.
Good morning to you, sir.
And how are you?
Not too bad.
I want to find out something, please. Maybe you could guide me as such.
I will try my best.
All right. The word parliament, I don't know if I'm correct, but that's why I asked, maybe you could guide me. I have heard that that word come about in the British system, and it was a place where the big lords and them that was trading in slaves and things, where they would go and boast and talk about the exploitation of the slaves and everything, and have a good time together. So as a result, the word parliament come about as a place of old talk, and that was designed by the British system. My take about it is that anytime you say something in regards to Parliament and points to the Governor General, well, I heard Mr. Rolo read out something very clearly. People come up, the Governor General is just ceremonial. Are you paying a head of state, and not the British government that is paying the head of state, our local taxpayers' money? Are you paying someone just to do something ceremonial, and you just feel you have to keep quiet because there is nothing as such? Even if our Governor General no longer is there, you have to keep paying them pension until they die. I think that the British system still live a form of slavery upon us, and we are going into 50 years of independence celebration. We need to look at the direction where we are going, whether it is more important to become a republic state where we elect president and not fighting up behind this Governor General issue that belongs to His Majesty, because it means to us that His Majesty saying to us, I give you your independence, but yet for all, I am in total control of you. And I think that shouldn't be. It's like a parent allow a child to go and start on his own, but yet for all, the parent is in the center of the marriage and still trying to control that child. We need to look deeply in this 50th anniversary, if it means get a referendum and decide where do we want to go in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. 435-2041. Let's go to the the Facebook page if we could grab some comments this morning. Someone has a comment on via the Facebook page that seems a bit interesting, a bit lengthy, so I'll probably take a minute or two to read it out for you. This is individual saying, "Good morning. I want to bring to the attention of the relevant authorities about a white foreign national that has taken up residence in the Granatang just after 1910, and it's alleged that the individuals with the issue and the issue, and trust me that they are aware that the tourism authority is I think I've lost where I'm going with this. She's seen every morning coming out from the Granatang on her way to St. George to work, and where's the relevant authorities to deal with the issue? Yes, and trust me, they are aware. The tourism season is about to start. The women don't have access to bathroom facilities or garbage disposal system. My major concern is this woman falls victim to crime. The international headlines will scream a white woman murdered in Grenada. Granatang is not only a tourist site, but the watershed as well. Of course, that's how slums begin. I guess that we're talking about someone who is using the Granatang area of it. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, welcome. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Go right ahead, please.
I kind of concur, I kind of agree with the sentiments expressed by the gentleman, but I just want to remind him that if the governor general is a person that have to got consent to the laws. So when the parliament makes the laws, the governor general must sign certain documents. So if she doesn't sign the documents, or if that person, the law is there's no law. She brings the law into effect. So that is the function of it. But as far as I'm concerned, in terms of what they have to think with all amount of pension and all this, I think all these things should be looked after, because we can't afford to be paying all this, every governor general, etc. You have to pay this and that, and we can't afford that. So I agree with you, my friend. But in terms of a governor general is needed, because he have to give effect to the law, teeth to the law. Otherwise, there's no law. But I want to zero in on something I said some time ago. When I called another station and talked about this person that was poor, and they really needed assistance because the lady is blind, and one of the sons, he is really more or less, I wouldn't like to say gone through, but he fallen down, etc., and he really needed it. And somebody, to the best of my knowledge, was kind of ridiculing the person and say, oh, well, it's the government before, and what they didn't do should meet people in that, and how they should be able to help themselves. People are just asking you all. I know it's democracy and we could vent our issue, but you don't know the circumstances before they start to run up all your mouth, because the lady is a blind lady. She really needed assistance. She did say that the government has given $200. She has 10 children in a small house. She tries her best, and some of the people not working, they tried. And also one of the person that need assistance, he can't himself stand up. So I think, I'm not staying long, I think before we blame the previous government or blame anybody or say this or say that, why they don't do this, please, people, we need to examine the person, we need to examine the situation before we criticize and run our mouths.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, caller. Let's take some more comments before we entertain the phone calls once again. Let's go back to the Facebook page. Someone mentioned about Liverpool Beach, and I think we need to stand up, because I recall Senator Pamela Moses was blocked from entering the premises by the developer of the project. Every time Liverpool projects mentioned, I remember Mr. Little and the others who lands were taken, won a judgment against the government, and never compensated for their lands, and that's been taken. Mr. Little has passed, and up to now, none of his family members received any compensation. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Yes, good morning to you, JT.
Good morning to you, sir.
Have a good day. You know, my observation is that the citizens, we as citizens, are so caught up with the politics that I'm afraid we're forgetting that we have a responsibility to grow ourselves. As it seems so that we're going nowhere. Somebody said this morning on one of the programs that we can manage the government from behind. And I think this is a smart guy. We don't have to rely on government for everything. If we focus on doing our thing, we can manage the government and develop this country other than relying and focusing on the politician only. Yes, we're going to focus on them because they're doing so many things that we don't like, but we shouldn't neglect ourselves, our own development. Focus on our development whilst we concentrate on the behavior of the politicians. So we're leaving ourselves behind, and as a result of that, we are going nowhere. I'm sending this message to us as citizens.
Thank you so much for your contribution this morning, caller. Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's a number if you want to get on the program this morning. I'm seeing someone via the WhatsApp. I'll get to that shortly. Let's entertain a call first. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, there's a two quick points. One in terms of the Parliament. As the question someone asked about with England, the concept of Parliament that we know from a Western point of view actually started in Rome. That's where the Senate emerged. So it's a continuation of the Roman Empire, unfortunately.
Okay.
Somebody also made reference with something I said earlier and said I misread. I didn't misread anything. The truth about it is that there's a big scandal in Canada, and our people there should be concerned about that. But as usual, our people are just concerned about the economics, though, and getting a living. Because the reactionary forces, the Nazi forces, gaining more and more control in Canada. If you see the Parliament, if you see what happened in Parliament, it's embarrassing, extremely embarrassing. For more than a year, people have been saying that the guys in Ukraine are Nazi. And you have the Canadian Parliament and when the President of Zelensky, the whole Parliament, celebrating a war criminal, who might be a war criminal, a collaborator with Hitler. And we shouldn't be concerned about it. I have not misread, and I don't rely on the Western press for information exclusively.
All right,
so we have to bear that in mind. But GT,
yes,
maybe you could plan and help us to have more conversation on the relevant thing, because it seems as though people are very, very, really backward in, I'm sorry to say that, in everything that's important to us. And we major in minor, and we minor in major. But and we must.
Well, some may say, caller, that maybe we should put more concern into the affairs of what's going on in Grenada. I understand.
Yeah, in Grenada, yes, but what happened in Grenada affects what happened elsewhere. Look at how we have to depend on all these agencies, whether the World Bank, Canada, USA, everybody else. I mean, we are not really independent in every sense of the word. We rely on so much ideas, because we not. First of all, we don't respect each other. We don't listen to each other, because if we listen to each other, we could learn a lot from each other. But we don't even know how to listen. That's the problem. I won't take longer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number if you want to be part of To The Point this morning here on Classic Radio and GBN TV. It's an open line, which means you listeners and viewers, you have the option of calling. Share your views, share your concerns this morning about there's probably an issue that's affecting you some way or the other, and you just want to speak about it this morning. Feel free to do so. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Morning, Gigi.
Good morning.
Come back. But information.
Not too lengthy a contribution, please.
Yeah, what we know. Grenada was most of it estates. The whole of Grenada is separated by estate, different boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are lots of Grenadian old parentage that own some of these estates. So now, the people that don't know, that lady you see coming from Granny Town, she only have a high color. It's not a white lady, like white from America and all this bit. That is a Grenadian and a very prominent citizen of Grenada's daughter. And
so you know of the individual that they are speaking.
Yes, I know very well.
All right.
And then what happens there now? Maybe she choose that land is from the four parents, and she choose to live there because she need her brains to be quiet. She's playing a very important role in every Grenadian day-to-day function.
All right. But I guess the individual is speaking about the sanitary aspect of it, in terms of the facilities needed, the bathroom and garbage disposal and so forth. I guess what the individual is more or less speaking about.
Yes, that is why I'm telling you she's playing a very important role in Grenada's day-to-day function, all of us. Right. So they know about I'm trying
to pick out what you're saying in terms of the role that she's playing by living in Granatang.
Part of that role is in maybe conservative and doing what. So these things don't really. So if these things go not living, this thing have to come from government long before. They should put a rule in place whether you own the lands or do this thing. You're not supposed to build it because of our water thing and water that. So that is not. It's not a people down below. That is from our leaders in the past. They should set an example and put things in place.
All right, man. Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435-2041. Let's take a final caller in this segment, and then we take a break. Entertain this caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Your indulgences for a minute, Mr. Telespotter?
Go right ahead, sir.
Yes, and briefly, let me just say that. The issue related to the Granatang thing there and so on, that is an area under conservation by the laws of this country. So probably we may wish to relook the issue. But I want to draw reference to a call made, some calls being made by Mr. Antoine in recent times about what happened recently in the Canadian Parliament. This didn't happen by guess. This was planned. It was designed to be like that. And Grenadians, don't be misled. The direction that this world is going. So I'm telling you, we are concerned about our own and our survival in Grenada. We pay no heed to what is happening outside there. But what has happened there in the Parliament of Canada is a reflection to understand. You have to understand the end of the Second World War and the end of the Second World War. Understand the role of NATO during the years after the so-called Cold War, and what is happening today with the new NATO, which has transformed from just NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, to the neo-Nazi totalitarian order, led by the United States, Great Britain, Canada, Australia, to an extent Israel, whose aim is to dominate the world. So they want to pass off Nazism as a normal thing. This is the truth. This is the direction it's going. You look at the billions of dollars being pumped into Ukraine there to do what? To upkeep a Nazi regime. That is what is happening there. So what Antoine is saying is not a normal thing. It's worthy of discussion. But the thing is, we do not want to look that far. And we ought to, because that's the future of the world that is here in decision. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
You too, sir. Have a good one. Folks, we drew for a break. Let's take it, then we come back for a final segment this morning. Stay with us here on To The Point.
Mention Winkai, then you have things like Manumos, Force Combat, We have the low power that.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake, I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
I want you to control your anger. There's a way to feel better. That's one thing to remember. No matter where you are, you can be a star. Stop and take a deep breath.
Coming up on Caribbean Passport, the best young athletes from across the Commonwealth, all in one place? That's right. A regional banks initiative is demonstrating the power to make a difference. Healthy cooking, empowering climate change, and drastic love for Antigua and Barbuda. It's all next on this station.
Who does man of the party? Tell them it's 4-7 trade. Shout it, let them know where we represent 4-7 trade. Who's the body's passing? 4-7
listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point for today, Friday, the 29th day of September, our final program for this week. Welcome once again to those of you who are just joining us. A few of our social media platforms, good morning and welcome once again. 435-2041, 435-2041. Feel free to give me the call if you do have, for some reason, I get that phone engaged. If you do have a comment or you have a contribution to make this morning, any issues that is of concern to you, feel free to do so. Give me that call. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, GT. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you this morning?
I love the conversation about the art and craft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the idea is that we no longer control the art and craft industry. If one comes from China or Taiwan and you need a souvenir, buy it anywhere, capsize it, and you'll see made in China or made in Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
So we have lost that industry a long time ago. Notice that the Chinese are not teaching us anything, to industrialize our countries. They would not award a school or some craft center a printing machine, because they are in charge of printing all our emblems like flags and maps. And this is crazy. This is insane. We really have to get up for this 50th anniversary and check themselves. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435-2041. It's to the point for today, Friday. You feel free to give me that call and express your views and concerns. And let's see who we have any comment via the WhatsApp this morning. And this individual is saying that I live in Canada, right in the center of the event. The caller has not researched beyond the basic info he spills out. I guess that individual is still speaking about the issue pertaining to what took place in Canada. 435-2041, just approximately 10 minutes left on today's program. If you do have a contribution to make this morning, give me that call, 435-2041. Let's take a peek at the Facebook comment section, see if there's any comment that we need to throw this morning. And let's go. Let's see if there's anything we need to throw this morning. And let's take a caller before we entertain the comments via the WhatsApp. Good morning to you, caller. Welcome.
Hello, good morning, GT.
How you doing this morning, sir?
Not too bad, and you?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty
all right. Nice hearing you, man. GT, what I would like to know for the 50 years anniversary, what I would like to see happen in this place.
You like to know or you like to see? Which one you want? Which one are you going after first?
I'm going after the 50 years.
No, you said you would like to know and you would like to see.
What I would like to know, what I would like to see happen.
Okay.
Right. For the 50 years anniversary. I would like to see the library come back alive.
All right.
I would like to see that. I would like to see the Parliament building come back alive. I would love to see them two buildings come back for the 50 years anniversary in Grenada as a good, what you call, welcome to the 50 years.
All right. Well, I guess that may not be possible now, though that we're already going to have the 50 years, and I don't think they could rebuild the Parliament building. I already have a new one already, but maybe the old one, you may like to have that, the old one that used to be the old one, have it rebuilt, but I don't think it could be done before the 50th anniversary kicks in. The library issue, of course, there's been lots of talk about it, and still no movement on it as yet, so pretty soon we hope that will be done. Can be done before the 50th anniversary, but maybe that could happen in time to come. Maybe for 51st. You never know. That could probably happen then. 435-2041, 435-2041. And if you do have a comment or two that you'd like to make, please feel free to do so. Still have a few more minutes left on today's program here on To The Point for today, Friday the 29th today. Let me say good morning to those of you via our social media platforms. I'm looking at your comments, and some of you, I do understand where you're coming from, but sometimes, and what it is what it is. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yes, good morning. I would like to talk about sea moss farming. This seems to be the new crave in Grenada. If you go to all the beaches, Telescope, Westerhall, Calais, you're seeing that even the breakwater on Satis, you're seeing that farmers are coming up and they're taking over the beach. with the sea moss farming. We see the bottles taking over, and they're farming, and they're out there harvesting and selling these sea moss, which, from what I understand, is not as beneficial as when you go and you get the original sea moss from the rocks. They don't have the same nutrients. But that's besides the point. My point is, there need to be regulation, and there is regulation in the Ministry of Fisheries. These farmers are supposed to get permits. They're supposed to go and let the ministry know, look, we want to do this. Is this area okay? Is this beach okay? And they have to remember that the ocean is shared. It is public. They are taking over the beaches. And beachgoers, people on the boats, fishermen, they are being they are limiting the space that the public have to use the beaches. So I am appealing to the Ministry of Fisheries to regulate the sea moss farming, and farmers be aware that you cannot just pop up and take over the beaches. Beachgoers do not have places to bathe and swim anymore on Saturdays and Sundays because the sea moss farming are all over the main beaches, from Telescope to Wester Hall to Point Saline. Please, we need to regulate the sea moss farming. It is overtaking our beaches. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Have a great day yourself. 435-2041, 435-2041. Let's take some comments via the Facebook before we move on. I want to applaud the administration on the consultation of the of raising of the minimum wage. I think it's long overdue from previous government who have been there for years, especially the NMP administration, and didn't see the need to do something about it. Amazing to see that the people, especially from the St. Patrick's who are working in the Grandans, have to pay bus back and forth every day, working for $7 plus, or I'm seeing $7 plus, and could be $700 or $7. And how could they make it for the month? So I welcome the administration for taking up that position on minimum wage, and for the many easement this administration is doing to ease the burden on the citizens' back. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Hey, good morning, bro. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. Go right ahead, please.
You know, I've been following this news for a couple of months now in Japan, with the water they're trying to dump in the ocean, that exposed to radiation. And I heard a reporter ask the Prime Minister that question in Grenada. So my eyes was like, oh, how come Grenada has to? Then I realized Japan trying to come dump it in our waters. So then I was like, oh, shit. I didn't realize, because I know China was in opposition with that. Even that country close to South Korea, everybody was in opposition. As a matter of fact, China banned all fishing import from Japan immediately. Now we have a fishing industry here. We export fish, and it's one of our main exports. So I don't hope Grenada let Japan dump this water in our territory, because you're talking about banning fish export from Grenada totally. From America, we're going to do that. Ban fish export totally.
All right.
So we cannot let that happen. We need to protect our fishing industry, protect our fishermen, and make sure that they can export fish and we can eat. And matter of fact, I mean, they say it's safe, the water is safe, but you know, these people in our West State think that they could get their way. You know, radioactive water dumped in our water, that's serious business. We should be against that. We should stand up strong against that.
All right.
In this country. Have a nice day.
Point taken, caller. Point taken very, very well there. 435-2041, 435. 6 minutes moving up before the top of the hour. 6 minutes left on today's program. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
With your permission, sir, I would like to advise that caller. I know he's genuine and so on. But what you're fishing, what you're casting your net at, my brother, is what they call red herrings. Japan is so far from us. It makes no sense. What these idiots in the Northern radio station are talking about, that's a red herring.
All right.
That's not possible. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. 435-2041. Let me take another comment from the Facebook this morning. Once again, I'm calling on the Honorable Joseph Andel to republish the old public works in Sauters, which is an eyesore. And I think the police station and the fire department can be home there and save the government from paying rent on to houses of these two departments. department. So let's take another caller. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Yes, GT, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, GT, I heard Innocent talk this morning about an incident in a school. They not just say which area or whatever. And there were comments from a particular caller who debunked the suggestions that the children, the behavior was not normal. Mm-hmm. And anything that is not normal is abnormal. As I said before, we have a God in heaven, we have a devil that is cast down onto the earth. And what we need to do, that's what I keep saying, we need to get God back in our schools. Many people want to tear off my throat for saying that we need to get God back in our schools. We need to get our children, the little children, to know that there is a God. If we don't teach them about godliness now, what kind of a society would we be bringing later? The things that we are reaping now is what we sowed in the past. So I'm saying this incident make it more important for us to recognize we need to get the churches on their feet. Let them go to the schools and teach the children about God. Get the children to know there is a God. When the children have Christ, when anybody, any human being gives their life to Christ, Satan cannot really manipulate them as he's doing when they are without Christ. They need God. And this is an opportunity, and to me, Innocent was very disturbed over the issue and calling on the churches to do something, to pray together. God has been calling for a national day of prayer and repentance for years, more than 2 years. And nobody, neither the church nor the government, is paying heed to that. And it's going to go to a time when we cannot handle it, and God will judge us where we do not expect. So we need to get God back in our schools.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you so much. 445-2041. We still can accommodate maybe one more caller before we take a wrap for today's program here on Classic Radio and GBN TV To The Point. Let's go to the phone line. Good morning to you, caller. Welcome.
Hello.
Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yes, good morning. How are you, sir?
Not too bad.
All right. I have a concern. And I understand they will be taking in asking for young guys to enter the police force. I don't know if they used to do it before, but I would like them to do that. Go around in different communities, in villages, and try to get some information about these young guys and them, because when you listen, some of them speak on the block. Because there is one that was saying some fellas beat up his father and kill him, and he can wait 20 years, 18 years to enter the police force to deal with them. So I would like them to go through that, go to the different village and community to find out about these guys and them. And secondly, very fast, I look at television about 2-3 months ago, and I see where government workers sit down giving news and report and different things, speaking about things, and they're wheeling around as if it's at a pie, cheddar is. I look at it and I find that is disrespect to the country, so they need to do better than that. You can't be wheeling around when you're speaking about something that is important to the country and for the country, and they're just spinning it right wrong and this shit. Have a good day, my brother.
Have a good day yourself, caller. Thank you so much. 445-2041. We still have 2 minutes, but maybe we could just get to our final stages and wrap this morning. Let's take this final caller, and then we take a wrap after this. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
That young lady and that young woman gets in her last word with the Bible, and I think she's...
Have a good morning, caller. Have a good morning. Have a good morning. Folks, that's when we take a wrap for today's program. Thanks all who contributed some way or the other. It's a good week for us here on the program. Join us again next week. And next week, probably get into a new month also here on To The Point. Until then, have a good one, folks. That's where I say goodbye and have yourself a blessed day. Goodbye for now.